Oh, dude, that's even better. Holy shit. Oh, no. No. Say hello, bud. Look what we got again. He just had his dinner, and now he wants some pets. How are y'all doing? It's good to see ya. Hope you're doing well. If you're new here, my name is Josh. Welcome to the channel. Happy to have you here. We are going to be getting into episodes 164 and 165 of Shippuden today. Not going to lie, y'all. I literally adjusted my schedule so I could keep watching after those freaking hype-ass last episodes. I couldn't wait after that cliffhanger, man. I got to see Naruto pop off, dude. Man, he's so cool seeing Naruto, like, upgraded like this. I think overall, like, one of the hypest parts is just, like, how dope he looks with his outfit. He just looks legit. He looks so mature. He looks so strong. Like, he's an authority, dude. I can't wait to see it in action here. Let's go and recap the character names from last time. We gave MVP to Tsunade slash the Slug. What's it? Katsuyu? You know, kind of just being able to protect all the villagers with the almighty push. Just insane. You know, Tsunade and the Slug, honestly, if they weren't there, I mean, how many people would have died? I feel like there's probably a lot of people who still died. We just don't really see it. For the best moment, we give that to Naruto as he's summoned right around the same time as the almighty push. I don't know, the build up in that scene in general with the almighty push and Naruto, like, and the GG Frog hearing about the leaf being under attack, and just, I don't know, it all just came to such a peak at that moment, like actual legitimate peak. Oosh, you're on my notes, bud. This cat, dude, he's always in the way. We skipped over funniest, and then for the Sacco, we gave that to Pain for his almighty push. Even though it was a badass moment too, like I almost gave it best moment, still it was like kind of heartbreaking to see just the destruction of the leaf. Like I was like getting so sad in that moment. So I'll give him the Sacco for that almighty push. That almighty almost killed all the leaf village. That was terrible. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into these episodes. If y'all do enjoy these, drop a like for me, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'd love to have you here for, you know, the rest of Shippuden here. It's been a damn journey. And yeah, I appreciate y'all being here to watch with me. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see it.
そうか。お前は潜入ジライア先生と同じ術を身につけたようだな。ジライア先生だと。俺もジライアから術を学んだ。ジライアは俺のかつての師だ。お前にとって俺は兄弟子。同じ死を仰いだ者同士。
Don't call him a sibling. You're nothing like him.
死は平和を望んでいた。
ふざけるな。何ちゅうチャクラじゃ。父ちゃんが教えたんか。
わしも初めて見る。修行中一度もあんなものを。
I wonder why he hid it from him in the first place.
ナルトのチャクラがまるで手裏剣のように。
ウトン螺旋手裏剣。お前らがやった俺のどこに平和があるんだ。
Backwards.
お前には平和の意味が理解できていないだけだ。おとなしく捕まる。
Simple as that. Just let yourself be captured.
ふざけんなって言ってんだろうな。
Is that one guy going to consume it though? The fat boy. Oh, get his. Can you like control it? Ooh. Oh, he's done so. Ugh, not this freaking cursed ass bird. Dude. Alright, animation? Datara. Shit, dude. Who would listen to you anyways?
戦術を身につけて今一人でペインと戦っています。
なんだと
Bruh.
この足じゃ
Need Sasuke to come heal him.
ナルト君に手を出さないように言われました。
Oh, true. I don't know, I feel like Shikamaru could help him. Shikamaru can handle it.
一人で戦えると。いや、戦術を身につけたということはもう我々とは
Yeah, dude, it's so dope.
今あいつにしてやれるチームワークだ。ここは我慢しろ、しかまる。くそ
Oh shit. These freaking dogs.
あよ言わんかい。自分不器用で
Not again. Man, I can't believe how much Naruto's grown. I'm just thinking back to classic Naruto, the little boy, man. Look at him now.
どうやら戦術の力が落ちてきたようだな。
やべえ、そろそろ
Damn, already? I know it's like has a pretty short time limit, but
母ちゃん、分かったろ。ネガンのつながりを切り離すけんの。
あいよ父ちゃん。
Gamma boy, come on.
かしら。ええか、これから文ちゃんをナルトちゃんめがけてぶん投げる。これからわしの言うことをよく聞いときんさい。
行くで父ちゃん。先方フートン砂ぼこり。
Ooh, yeah, breaking the line of sight. Dude, Gamma being thrown by him is insane, man. Gosh. He's so tiny and he can just yeet him. You're blinded now, Rinnegan. He's tired now. You just threw the big Bunta. Damn, dude, Bunta's so badass.
やつはどこだ。
予選連眼。
口の中。
Yeah, getting this summoning one's huge, man. Good teamwork, man. Oh, he's out of sage mode, though.
戦術は切れたか。
Time to use the nine-tail jutsu now. Or chakra.
螺旋手裏剣はやっぱ2発までだ。父ちゃん、お嬢の千人モードが解けてもうたで。
分かっとるわい。
危険じゃけど、今のうちに融合するしかないで。
Can't.
それは無理なんじゃ。やるなら今だな。
Oh, God, now I'm nervous.
どことかいな。
どうやら
I just wanted to see Naruto just pound him, dude. I wanted to see Pain get wrecked.
ならではの方法を見つけた。今からそれをやるんじゃ。ちょろ。
You little scamp.
くそ。
こっちやナルトちゃん。渡せ。わっしゃやろう。
来い。
Let's go. Come on, boy.
これから千人モードに入る。
んじゃと。
親分たちは下がってくれ。
強がってからに。
He is now, man. Look at him.
戦術チャクラを補給できるのはあと2
Wow, okay. That's definitely more than like Jiraiya could do, right?
件撃てるのはあと4発。それまでに決着をつける。
行くぞナルトちゃん。逆串寄せの術。
Interesting. So you can just leave a shadow clone there, building it up. I love that, man. It's so cool.
呼んだで。術を解きんさい。
Let's go, dude. Fucking bust Yahiko's face open.
どうなっとるんじゃ。
簡単じゃ。チャクラを練り込ませて待機。
Yeah, dude, he's gonna just have to do this all the time. Just have a few, shadow clones chilling.
口寄せしたら書き分身を解いて電術チャクラをオリジナルに。
Cute little animation. But I still want to know how he can like withstand the Rasen Shuriken now.
よし、もらった。
Man, it looks so cool. Fatso's coming in. So strong, man. Yeah, you gotta take that one out.
そうか、こいつは確か忍術を吸収するっつってたやつ。でもさっき倒したはずだろ。
Yeah, see, this is the thing that can revive them.
どうやらあのペインがキーマンのようですね。
じいちゃん仙人が言ってた死んだ者も生き返らせるってやつか。
おそらくあのペインがそれを担う能力者のようです。
Yeah, you gotta kind of take them on in a certain order.
タイの一番後ろへ下がったんです。そして最も厄介なのは左のペイン。すべての術と攻撃を弾いたり物を引き寄せたりします。今はまだ力を見せていませんが、それもおかしいので能力を使えない何かの理由があるのかもしれません。
Yeah, maybe he's a little bit weaker like they were talking about. Because of using that power to resurrect them so many times.
さっさと奥のやつを先にやっちまわねえとな。煙玉も一緒に。よし。
Yeah, smoke bombs are gonna be important against them.
無駄だ。
It's cool animation.
お前が吸収したのは変化の術だってばよ。
Headbutt him.
貴様オリジナルか。
これなら避けらんねえ。今度こそ。
What?
やっと力が戻った。
OP.
まだだ。戦術螺旋連弾。
何？
Let's go. You got the important one. He had to use a shit ton of chakra though for that.
よし。
Dude, the soundtracks have been like kind of reminding me of classic Naruto soundtracks a lot more with the see ha. All the chanting so dope.
あのペインが吸い取れるのは忍術。
Yeah, you can't be absorbing a real person.
ちゃんのタックルをまともに受けたんじゃ。
So how did the Yahiko version just block that one? Was it just from the repelling thing or? So cool.
ギリギリか。神羅転生。大丈夫か、ナルトちゃん。
Couldn't get the one that absorbs. That's a big one too. Although the main one, if the main one can stop it as well, I guess it's not as big of a deal.
なんだってばよ、さっきの術。
どうやら中心となっているペインの力が戻ったようですね。おそらくこの里を吹き飛ばしたのも同じペインの術だと思われます。大きな力を使うほど次の術を使用するまでのインターバルも長くなるのでしょう。
だからさっきのでこのフット変えなかったってわけ。
Trying to hit like a little ant on the ground.
忍術も体術も効かねえなんて。
長司君が教えてくれました。あのペインの術と術のインターバルは基本的には約5秒。その間を狙い撃ちするしかありませんね。
5秒か。
やはり現実にはめるしかないの。
でもどうやって。
They can do it. Yeah, I want to see that again. Dude, that one was so cool. I loved that Genjutsu. That was honestly like one of my favorite parts of that whole fight. Like you could just tell how strong it was. You have to protect them though.
これなら逃げ場はないじゃうが。神羅転生。
Dude, that was a big one.
カノヤミ。くそ。
All right, man. Dude, good. I'm loving the fight so far. Just seeing like Naruto's strategies, Rasen's Shuriken, Sage mode is just so cool. Good pacing with it too.
ナルトが戦ってるってたった一人で。
手を出さないようにとのことです。
ナルトを信じるしかねえだろ。こうなったらよ。
Akamaru does, man.
ナルト君が。
間違いありません。ナルト君ですよ。確かに。
ナルト君がたった一人で。
ダメです。ヒレタ様。
でもナルト君は里のために。
Hey, bud.
戦いに入ってもナルト君の足手まといになるだけ。ナルト君を困らせるだけです。
ナルト君。
Gonna get Hinata in the mix a bit here. That'd be pretty good. We haven't had a lot of Hinata in a while. I feel like she's was supposed to be in some of the filler arcs that I don't think I watched, but
ちくしょう親瓶たちまで
おいさっさと現実をやるじゃわい
みんなの目の前でデュエットなんだ
dude, Ma's so funny. I love her.
あの現実は戦術チャクラを多量に使用する
俺はインターバルの5秒間を狙う戦術チャクラが練れたら現実を始めてくれ
ナルトちゃんも戦術チャクラを
Yeah, dude, he needs to start like saving a bunch of them, like 50 of them.
役割分担もしたが戦術チャクラを練るのが難しい
So there's like a limit to the.
にはか
Gotcha. I'm sure he'll probably get better at that over time.
こっちの戦闘影分身も3人分
That's why he's only been doing 3.
大人数にしちまうと
Yeah, so maybe not. That might be his limit always. Still, like having like 15 minutes of Sage Jutsu is like super strong. That's still really good. It's gone 3 down or 4 down actually. I didn't even. Wow. It's gone
お前は
fast.
確かに強いペインがここまでやられたのは初めてだ
It's so interesting that Nagato refers to all this as pain. You
ここまでにしておこ
fucking kidding me?
うすまんナルトちゃん持ちこたえてくれ安心しろ殺しはしない
こんなの大していたかねってばよ千人モードなめんなよ力なんだ
確かに
力が抜けていくそうかこいつ俺
Fuck that, dude. This guy's freaking crazy.
キュウリ捕獲完了電池の発動までもう少し耐えてくれナルトちゃんよ
まだだ
なかなかしぶといな
なるほどそういうことかなら動けねえからちょうどいい
Is he gonna just gather nature chakra anyways?
やっと観念したか
Dude, Naruto, man, he's doing well. He's so much smarter. Oh, dude, that's even better. Holy shit. Ha! Get wrecked, dude. You're a freaking toad now, boy.
これはそうかあのペイン
Yeah, but now he's kind of like stuck. Okay.
戦術茶それなりにリスクがあったようだな
お前一人だけだ
それは少し違うな
どういうことだってばよ
このペインたちは操り人形です影でペインたちを操っている輩
Yeah, dude, are we gonna see like Nagato actually come out? I want to see Nagato so bad.
よし準備できた行くで母ちゃん
あいよ父ちゃん駐車さんに
Oh no. No.
あの現実はもう懲りてるよ
いいの無事だったのか
Dude, not GG.
お前それって
体中の骨が痛む
You freaking kidding me? Dude, he's so strong. That ability is insane.
私たちがもっとしっかりしてたらこんなことには
静音先輩の死を無駄にはできねえ先輩が解こうとした
Kind of starting to get sus of this Anbu here, man. The way they cut to its face or its mask.
我々のできることはすぐにでもペイン本体の居場所を探し出すことだ命お前ほどの術者なら敵のチャクラを拾って逆探知できないのかすでにやってみただが敵は常にチャクラの周波を変えていやがる逆探知は無理だペインはかなりのやり手だよ
No, dude.
Ansho Tein!
Dude. Oh, dude.
これで少しはおとなしくなるか、キュービ。
Oh, man.
てめえはなんだ一体なんだってんだなんでこんなことしやがる
なんでか 出来事はいつも突然だ。理由は後になって気づく。この状況、そうだな。少し話をしよう。
ペインと接触した人たちから。
Dude, I'm so sad about freaking GG.
待てよ。そうか、分かってきたぞ。ペイン本体の居場所が。
どういうこと？
何か気づいたんすか？ああ、ジライア様が捕らえたあの雨隠れの忍びの頭の中を覗いた時のことだ。その男は仲間と死体を運ぶ仕事をしていた。
長年の勘でわかる。こりゃ女だ。俺たちがいつも死体を運ぶこの里で一番高い塔。
死体を運ぶ？そう、お前のさっきの言葉でピンときた。いいか、まず一つに桜信号を送信する側はなるべく受信体の近くにいることが常識だ。でだ、その男は雨隠れにある数ある塔の中で一番高い塔に死体を運んでいた。そして雨隠れではペインはその一番高い塔にいると噂されていたようだ。
There's no way he's like delivering it from up there right now, though, right? That's so. Wouldn't that be super far? I don't know how far the Rain Village really is, but
あれはその高い塔に運び込まれた女の死体と同じだった。その塔はチャクラ受信機である黒い棒を死体に埋め込んでペインを作る。で、それがどうしてペイン本体の居場所とつながるんすか？チャクラ信号を送信するために一番効率的な場所、より広く遠くへ送信するためには一番高い塔じゃなきゃいけなかったんだ。
so he's probably up somewhere really high.
ということはつまりペイン本体は木の葉近くの一番高い場所にいる。
よし、なら
Maybe it's not the Sambu op. I was thinking maybe that was Nagato, dude. Just like infiltrated and no one even knows.
お前はなんでこんなことをする？俺に問うた。その理由をお前に話したところで何も変わりはしないだろう。だがもう一度ゆっくり話をすればどうだろうな。
お前と話すことなんてない。
俺の目的はジライア先生も成し得なかったことだ。さっきも言ったがな。平和を生み出し正義をなすことだ。
平和、正義、ふざけんな。ふざけんな。俺の師匠を、俺の先生を、俺の仲間を、俺の里を。こんなに仕上がったお前なんかが偉そうにほざいてんじゃねえ。
Damn, great voice acting, man.
ならお前の目的は何だ？
お前をぶっ倒して俺がこの忍びの世界を平和にしてやる。
そうか、それは立派なことだ。それこそ正義だな。だが俺の家族を、
My family.
俺の仲間を、俺の里を、この里と同じようにしたお前たち木の葉の忍びだけが、平和と正義を口にすることを許されるわけではないだろう。
So is it just referring to like back in that war how like
そしてこの葉は大きくなりすぎた。
oh god, let's see what they say here.
敵を守るため大国同士の戦争で自国の利益を獲得する必要があった。でなければ国、里の民が飢える。だがその大国の戦場
Okay, yeah, so they're just referring to that great war
と里だった。
since it's like between everything.
荒らされ疲弊していった。幾度かの戦争を経て大国は安定した。我ら小国に多くの痛みを残してな。
See, he's got empathy.
目指すものは同じだ。
The way you go about it's important.
なそうとしている。お前も俺も何も変わらない。互いの正義のために動く。
Damn, sense of justice.
お前が俺にやろうとしていることと同じだ。大切なものを失う痛みは誰も同じ。お前も俺もその痛みを知る者同士だ。お前はお前の正義のために。
So interesting.
正義のために。俺たちは正義という名の復讐へと駆り立てられた普通の人間だ。だが復讐を正義というならば、その正義はさらなる復讐を生み、
Yeah.
憎しみの連鎖が始まる。
Yeah. It's so circular, man.
その事象の中に生き、過去を知り未来を予感する。それが歴史だと知る。人は決して理解し合うことのできない生き物だと悟らざるを得ない。
Times it definitely feels like that.
忍びの世界が憎しみに支配されている。だが
Yeah, this conversation's so important.
この忍びの世に憎しみがはびこっているのはわかる。
憎しみ。
その憎しみをどうにかしたいとは思っとるんだが、どうしたらいいのかわしにもまだわからん。だがいつかは人が本当の意味で理解し合える時代が来ると私は信じとる。
なんか難しいってばよ。
答えが見つからんかった時はその答えをお前に託すとしようかの。
You sure has, man.
エロ仙人の の頼みなら仕方ねえってばよ。
お前なら平和を作るためこの憎しみとどう向き合う？
Forgiveness, maybe. Transcending
お
your
前
hate.
の答えを聞こ
Not easy, but how are you supposed to stop the cycle if you continue it?
わかんね
Yeah.
え。そんなこと。
I don't think there's a right answer necessarily. Like, I definitely don't know. That's just kind of like what I think.
う。その憎しみの連鎖を止めるために暁を立ち上げた。
Mm.
俺なら止めることができる。そのためにはキュービのその力が必要だ。
Look at all those. So cool.
すべての美獣の力を使い、この里を潰した数十倍の力を持つ美獣兵器を作る。国を一瞬で潰せるほどのな。
美獣兵器。
本当の痛みを世界へ知らしめ、その痛みの恐怖で戦いを抑止し、世界を安定と平和へ導くのだ。
Yeah, it's like leaning into the hatred so much. Yeah, exactly.
人間は
Just creating fear instead.
ではない。そうでもしなければ平和を作れないのだ。やがてその痛みも何十年と時が経てば癒えていく。抑止力は低下し、そしてまた人々は争い、今度は自分たちで美獣兵器を使い、本当の痛みを再確認する。そしてまた一時の平和が訪れる。この終わりなき憎しみ、
Oh my god, dude, he looks fucked up.
痛みにより一時の平和を生み出すこと。これが俺の願いだ。
Oh, man.
長門、あまり無理をしない。もう随分チャクラを使ってる。
Man, he looks... Oh, he's like barely even human, dude. That's sad.
平和は目の前だ。
Wow, I love that conversation. Really interesting. But you can see exactly why, like, Naga's was kind of being pushed to this kind of skewed perception almost, or like kind of taking things to the extreme, to an extreme side of the spectrum, because there's just no easy answer based off how humans really struggle to understand each other, to not seek vengeance or this, trigger this cycle of hatred constantly. We all want justice, but if justice triggers that hatred, justice is done through vengeance, then it triggers that cycle of hatred. So how do we bring justice without vengeance or through vengeance? It's interesting. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and talk about these episodes for a little bit. Continuing the fight here, getting some really philosophical conversations going on. Couple of deaths. Well, one, I missed this in the reaction, so apologies for this up front, but they did say Shizune died, so R.I.P. Shizune. Was never the biggest fan of Shizune. I mean, I liked her, but there was a couple moments where I was like, going behind Tsunade's back a couple times. Did not like that, but obviously still sad that she died. Yeah, not anticlimactic in the way she died, like compared to the way that they're saying Kakashi's dead, quote unquote. Although I don't know, no one seems safe right now. So, but yeah, she got, man. Yeah, not looking forward to Tsunade kind of getting that news at some point here. And then we also get the old geezer GG Frog, Fukasaku, getting freaking stabbed. That one hurt. That one really hurt. I really like him. I've grown really attached to him. Him and Ma, I've grown really attached to. I love how like endearing they are to Jiraiya, like the way he called him like Jiraiya boy, Naruto boy, etc. Like, I don't know, it's just like endearing and cute. He is like a little old grandpa with so much wisdom and still some strength, and just to see him get stabbed like that is gruesome. Now we don't know if he's actually dead, but I mean, I imagine he's gonna die. He's old and like he's tiny. I mean, that was like sad too. It's just like seeing such a tiny little frog on it. Crazy, man. So that was sad, but also a lot of really cool fighting too. Naruto really doing a good job. We'll talk more about that in the character ratings, but I think let's focus a little bit more on the conversation between Naruto and Pain, or Nagato, really, right? It's by far the most interesting part of these episodes outside of just the fight itself. And I think it's so interesting because of the similarities between Naruto and Pain and kind of this whole dynamic of conversation around justice and vengeance and hatred. So Pain kind of establishes, pretty early on that his goal here is, to bring peace and justice. And what he's done to the Leaf Village is him bringing justice to the Leaf Village, and it will ultimately lead to a more peaceful world in the future based off of him getting the Nine Tail, especially. And Naruto obviously hasn't understood that, right? In like the last set of episodes, they talked about how, Naruto's like, how is this peaceful, right? How is this justice? This isn't fair. Like, you're killing tons of people. How is this peaceful? And, he challenges Naruto to see the bigger picture, to see the forest through the trees kind of thing, right? But he asks Naruto, he's like, what's your goal, right? And Naruto says that he wants to kill Pain and bring peace back to the ninja world, really. And like that, killing Pain is kind of that vengeance and justice, similar to how Nagato is acting here, how Pain is acting here. He's bringing vengeance and justice to the Leaf Village, and also is having a bigger goal for peace. And I guess, I asked last episode about like, why he has so much hatred for the Leaf. And I guess it does just go back mostly towards the that great war that happened where the Rain Village was really the center of the battlefield. And even though they weren't really as directly involved, they had to suffer a lot, and they weren't really, even after the war ended, they were still suffering because they were such a smaller village compared to the great nations, which kind of recovered and had peace a lot more quickly. And this war was started from the Land of Fire and the Hidden Leaf when they grew a little bit too big and they didn't have enough like resources, it sounds like enough money to feed their populace. And so they instigated a war basically, and created suffering for others because of their own self-interest. And so they did wrong to probably multiple nations, but definitely the Rain here, who was like indirectly involved in all of it and got the real short end of the stick. So it's like, yeah, is that fair? Is that just? Does the Leaf Village deserve a justice brought to it? I guess it depends on your perspective, right? Your perspective of justice. But if you kind of like break it down, like in these cases, they're both like, Naruto's trying to bring justice, Pain's trying to bring justice. It's both through vengeance. I think that's kind of the key, is like if you're bringing justice to people through vengeance or vice versa, then you're going to kick off this cycle of hatred, right? Like, let's say everything, I know it's not the case here, but let's say everything was conceived when the Land of Fire, the Leaf Village, started that war. They kicked off a cycle of hatred by kind of putting their pain onto someone else, right? And now the Rain Village is looking for justice, seeking vengeance, and they are bringing about vengeance and justice here to the Leaf. And so now the Leaf is going to in turn have a bunch of hatred as well. And so it's just going to be a cycle where they keep doing this to each other, because anytime the vengeance happens, it's going to instill hate, and that hate is really what breeds that cycle, what powers that cycle, right? Like, when the Leaf Village probably started this war and the Rain was there, and the Rain figures out that, hey, this all kind of happened, all this chaos happened because of the Leaf Village, they're gonna have hatred. They're gonna have hatred, just like Naruto has hatred today, probably around Pain killing Jiraiya, and obviously for what he's done to, through the Akatsuki, and now what he's done to the Leaf Village. I really like Pain's kind of like demeanor in this, because he doesn't sound like crazy or anything, honestly. Like, he's kind of rational, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really like the line where he kind of talks about how him and Naruto are really not so different, kind of just from what we all just talked about. They're just ordinary men, and he says ordinary men seek vengeance under the banner of justice. And to me, it's under the banner of justice for those who did them wrong, right? So, like we just said, Naruto feels like he's been wrong, and the Leaf Village has been wrong from Pain and the Akatsuki, and vice versa for the Leaf Village and the Rain Village. So, but this just all... Sorry, my cat is going ham with her toy right now. But this all just triggers that hatred, right? And, from Pain's perspective, I think this is where he might be different than Naruto and Jiraiya, right? Because he believes that, in this cycle of hatred, it makes people believe that humans are incapable of really understanding each other, right? Like, if somebody does you wrong and you just have hate, you're incapable of actually understanding the person who did you wrong. Or, even in like the case of Jiraiya and Orochimaru, or Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto tells Sasuke that he is trying to understand as best he can, but Sasuke doesn't feel it as much. He can't believe it unless you've experienced it. And if you experience it, then you just get wrapped up, get pulled into that cycle. So that understanding is probably like the most critical part, and it really comes down to if humans can understand each other. And like we were just saying, I think Pain has such a cynical viewpoint, probably from everything that's happened to him and how he understands and perceives the world. He doesn't believe humans are capable of that. He even says like humans are not the most intelligent creatures. And I have to agree to some extent, right? Like we all, are subject to that blindness in our hate. If someone wrongs us, it's very difficult to take a step back and forgive that person. It's like to really do that takes a lot to do. But that understanding is really where that could come from. If you can understand somebody, it's not that you don't hold them accountable or you don't even just deliver justice, but maybe you deliver justice in a more peaceful way or in a way that doesn't breed this cycle of hatred. Jiraiya, unlike Nagato or Pain, has had faith that someday humans will understand each other more, and I'm sure Naruto does too. But it's a difficult thing to solve. I think in real life, it's not something that's been solved, obviously, and I really love the narrative here because it is such a complex issue to solve. And if you really boil down a lot of the pain in the world and violence in the world, a lot of it comes from this cycle of hatred through vengeance and justice. It is really interesting to think about. I love how it's Kishimoto. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I think that's the author's name. I love how he wrote this because it's not simple in real life. And Pain even asked Naruto, our protagonist, how would you solve this? How would you confront hatred? And Naruto says he doesn't know. He doesn't know. And I think that's what most people would say. Most people wouldn't know, or they would maybe be more cynical like Pain is. And Pain is kind of just being more pragmatic almost, or like idealistic, and just trying to take the route that he sees is the easiest way to deal with it, which is to control people through fear, right? Through this tailed beast jutsu, he will instill fear in the world through pain. Pain will make them be afraid, and for a certain period of time, they will be too scared to fight each other and follow up on their hatred. And then eventually it'll simmer down and they'll be like, oh, I don't remember that, a new generation or a couple generations, and then fighting will reoccur. And then bam, another tailed beast jutsu attack, and people will relearn that pain. But it is a very, although it's like very direct and like mitigating the violence of the world or the hatred of the world, it's fake peace. It's not real peace. It's control. It's not, I think peace is a lot of times is a sense of like openness and freedom. This is the opposite. You're, compressing people and making them internalize their hatred through repressing their emotions through fear. And so I think that would just create, ultimately more dysfunction in the world eventually, or maybe the demise of the world itself, right? Like we talk about nuclear war. If like we ever actually gave into having like back and forth nuclear war, the world would go into like an apocalypse, right? Like you could just see that totally happening. And even though, the Akatsuki and Pain or Nagato are gonna have this tailed beast weapon and they might control it, once they give it to others or once Nagato dies, like, can you really trust people? Like, I don't know. I just don't see the fear holding people back for forever. And I can't help but feel that, the answer to this question is going to be really important to this narrative of the story as a whole. I don't know if it's just going to be centered around this Akatsuki and Pain arc. I know we have a lot more episodes to go in this story, but I can't help but feel like that this is a very central theme to the author, that, this hatred and vengeance and justice are very difficult questions to answer for humanity since the beginning of the time, or the dawn of time, and of humans coming on this earth to now, right? We still are struggling with this, and if anything, I think we struggle with this just as much as any other time in human history. It's a very difficult question to answer, and I can't wait to see how, what the author's perspective is through his narrative here. It's really, really intriguing. personally, what I think is that Naruto will learn the answer to this through his challenge and conflict with Sasuke, right? The understanding that he needs to learn to like get to Sasuke. Like, it's not that Naruto doesn't necessarily understand him. It's more like, how do you help Sasuke believe that you understand him almost, right? And to like help, mitigate his hatred, to quell it or to let it go, I guess, right? To let it go, not to mitigate, to let it go. And I think, I mentioned it in the reaction that, I think there is a form of a human, somebody who's extremely mature, somebody who has worked on themselves a lot, someone who's really healthy, who probably can transcend hatred, right? Even if someone does something terrible to them, their morality around life and understanding themselves and the world, they're kind of that, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yeah, self-actualization, right? Somebody who is self-actualized, right? Like someone like that, like they're not as scared to die. They don't have as many attachments, right? Like people like that might be able to overcome hatred. They might be able to transcend it. And so maybe, the answer is how do we enable people, cultures, and civilization to be the highest form of a person you can be? And that has to do with like knowing yourself and not being selfish to, go after resources and have all these wars and stuff. That's the problem though, is like, to me, is like people are forced into certain roles in society, right? Like you have to go into debt to go to college, and it just like, and then you go get a job 9 to 5, and I'm going out of order here, but you go to school your whole life, the path is laid out for you. And of course there's, you have freedom and autonomy throughout that to make decisions, but you only know what you know, and the world kind of puts you into a structure that doesn't necessarily help you actually learn yourself to self-actualize, to be able to transcend hatred like that, We're all kind of just subject to our strong emotions because, we are either stuck in survival or we're not taught to focus on these things about ourselves. We're to think externally about, how do I, help a business get their bottom line, right? How do we always increase profits and shareholder value, capitalism, crap like that. It's just, as an individual, it's difficult because you're kind of just I don't want to say a slave, but you're subject to such a higher power than yourself, like your government of your country. And, they have different goals than individuals, right? They are probably wanting to go to war sometimes to get resources, or they want to run the economy based off of just whatever is going to create the most amount of money, not what's actually best for the people of their land. And that's why, the Leaf Village is such a good representation of like a healthy country, because like the Hokage is the person who like protects its people. It's all about its people. It's not about money or resources. I mean, it sounds like the Land of Fire and the feudal lords have had hands in that, and even like obviously like Danzo and the elders, they're still subject to making bad decisions. But the figures that we've come to learn and love, like the Hokage, are kind of supposed to be a healthier way to help people, maybe self-actualize a little bit more and be able to transcend more. So I think it comes down to the individual a lot, and like maybe community can help get us there. But I don't know, it's so difficult. It's such a difficult question to answer. I obviously don't know the answer, just ideas, but like what level of practicality, like pain do you need, and what level of, I don't want to say it's woo-woo, but self-actualization is very intangible, right? Like it's just based off of your understanding of the world and yourself. And, like, I don't know, like a Buddhist monk who has, transcended his attachments kind of thing, right? I don't know. But it's very interesting to think about. I love this narrative and the story. All right, let's go ahead and get into the character ratings. For MVP, I'm going to give it to Naruto. Dude, just his fighting style here is so sick. Multiple creative ways that he took out versions of pain. I really love the scene where he transforms himself into the Rasen Shuriken to trick Pain, and then he has the actual Rasen Shuriken coming behind him to distract the Yahiko version, and then he has the other version come with the Rasen Barrage to actually take out the one that can resurrect them. That was so sick. Also, the really creative use of the nature energy in the Sage Jutsu Chakra collection, where, you know, he's bound up and the guy's sucking it up. And he's like, well, I might as well just keep giving it to him. And it makes him into a petrified toad. And I think it's really creative, right? It's not just about power. It's being creative as well. Something that in the past Naruto struggled with, right? He was kind of just like a, you know, gung-ho, go directly. Now, even though he still is like a very direct fighter, he is like very creative as well and thinks things through so much more. And I also like want to talk a little bit about how, you know, his solution to not being able to merge with the elder frogs with the shadow clones and leading them to gather the nature energy through the Sage Jutsu Chakra. I just thought that was so creative, and it honestly really reminds me a lot of when he has to learn an alternative way of doing Rasengan back in classic Naruto. You know, he isn't able to naturally be able to, he doesn't have the skill to be able to do it like Jiraiya can or Kakashi can, like we see in Shippuden. He needs to come up with his own way through his experience of the world, right? He like watched the cat hitting the ball around, right? And, you know, he kind of learned that he could, you know, use a shadow clone to kind of help him concentrate and move contain the chakra, right? Get the rotation going and contain at the same time so he could split it up. And I just think it's actually like a really good lesson. You know, I like that Kishimoto once again wrote Naruto this way, because once again, like, life teaches you that you need to do things a certain way, or there's a right thing to do things a lot of times, and you can follow like a guideline or a structure to things. But oftentimes, like, there's going to be lots of avenues you explore where you're not naturally good at it, or like you don't have the technical skill set, or whatever your limitation is, and you need to figure out it in your own way, in your own head. And doing that yourself helps you understand yourself better, and ultimately it helps you grow and be able to enact that mindset into more things, just like Naruto's doing here. Like, I really believe that the way Jiraiya challenged Naruto to learn that Rasengan on his own helped him in this situation to come up with his own solution to not being able to merge with the frogs. So I think everybody in life should try to, you know, like take the time with yourself, be patient with yourself to learn things your way. Don't just, you know, go take notes and memorize things from a textbook or something. You know, of course you can use those resources, and that's not a bad thing in itself, but you also need to like learn in your own way. How does your mind work? And that's why understanding yourself is really important. It just empowers you in a wider way for yourself in your life in general. For the best moment, I'm going to give it to Pain and just the conversation with Naruto, like we talked about. We don't need to talk about that too much, but I just think it's so interesting. Shout out to the author. I think that this has been really well written. I really think it's a very interesting theme to talk about. For the funniest character, I'm going to give that to Ma when she's embarrassed to do the duet in front of everyone. Good old Ma. I feel so bad for her with Pain stabbing her husband. You know, she's crying during it. It's just so sad. And that leads us into Sako, which I'm going to give to Pain again for stabbing Fukasaku. Yeah, dude, that one hurt me more than I thought it would. I wasn't actually really expecting the frogs to like get hurt or killed, but you know, they're subject to it too, of course. And yeah, man, that hit me harder than I thought it would. That was tough. But yeah, y'all, good episodes. Let me know what y'all thought about these ones. What y'all think about this cycle of hatred and justice and vengeance. How we can achieve peace as humans. I just think it's so intriguing, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on it, y'all's perspectives, and I want to understand y'all's perspectives too. I hope y'all really enjoy this one. If you did, drop a like, comment, all the good YouTube stuff. Subscribe to follow on for more, and I will catch you next time. Peace.